morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today I need to follow up on something I've been, checking for a little while now. Regular Tag Team GXs. We all know that there are some Tag Team GXs around that have, well, to put it bluntly, gone a little bit silly. Take the Latas and Latios, for instance. We know that there is a version of the Latas and Latios which is, dumb expensive, I think is a nice way to put it. One of the biggest cards from the entirety of the Sun and Moon era. It's like actually this one's gone even sillier lately. Maybe we should talk about this at some point. But in the past year, this has gone from like an $850 to a over $2,000 card. But we knew this. Yes, this has gone up maybe a little bit faster than we might have been expecting. But this is one of the biggest cards, maybe even, probably at this point, the biggest card in the Sun and Moon era. So we look at this and we go, well, okay, fine. It is ridiculous, but at least we kind of know why. And we can, we can kind of accept that. What I've been looking at lately are the regular Tag Team GXs. Because they're not supposed to be ridiculously expensive. They're regular cards. They're the kind of cards when you pull them from a pack, like an EX nowadays, you'd be like, oh cool, I pulled one. But you weren't expecting like it was going to be some kind of big money hit. You were looking for the alternate arts, etc. But the tag teams were cool. They were all illustrated by Mitsuhiro Arita. And they were playable, a bunch of them. So we look at all of that and we go, oh, okay then. Cool. This is nice. Yeah. Things got dumb, ladies and gentlemen. Things got dumb. Let's start off with Mewtwo and Mew. We've just had the World Championships this past weekend. And of course, Mewtwo and Mew very relevant because that is a card with which Henry Brand won the Pokémon World Championships. So it seems like a good place to start. And the regular version of that card, I'm not talking about alternate art or any of that, I'm talking the regular version of that card is an $85 card. And this has happened quickly. This was a $20 card back in November. It is now an $85 card. In less than a year, in 9 months, this has quadrupled in price. And this does happen sometimes with older cards. They hang on, go nuts. Also, take this as a warning from your old pal Wassy. If there are regular tag team cards that you've been holding off on buying, maybe you want them for your collection, maybe you want them for making decks, for playing old decks or things of that nature, now is probably about time to do so, because things are getting, silly, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely silly. Now, for what it's worth, obviously the alternate art version of the Mewtwo and Mew is worse. I mean, if that helps you at all. And this wasn't even from a set. This was a promo. This was a tin promo. And, this one there was a period of time where this was not that difficult to get hold of. Things have changed, ladies and gentlemen. Things have changed. What's annoying is over on TCG Player right now, they don't actually have, when I'm trying to filter the sales, they don't even have any near mints on there. But yeah, they've got it listed as like a over $200 card. It's expensive, ladies and gentlemen. It's expensive. But let's stick with the regular versions for the time being. That is kind of the point of this video. And it's not just Mewtwo and Mew is my point. If we stick in Unified Minds for a moment and have a look at some of the regular ones from there, that's where Mewtwo and Mew came from. Regular Umbreon and Darkrai. And actually with these, it's very easy to tell which is a normal, because the normal's done by Mitsuhiro Arita and the alternate arts are done by somebody else. But the normal Umbreon and Darkrai, as I'm recording this morning, we are looking at about an $80 card. Worth noting that this was a $15 card a year ago. When I say these regular tag teams have been exploding in price, I really mean it. A year ago, these cards were kind of like, well, I can keep showing you $15, $20 cards for the big ones. They weren't the cheapest cards ever. You're talking like 3 packs, but it's still, you know, fine. Not ridiculously cheap, but, you know, not terrible at all. And it has been the past year where, and maybe not even a year, maybe less than a year, where things have just gotten absolutely ridiculous. And this was not even that playable a card. And that doesn't mean it's all no play. You know, free energy, 150 to the active, 60 to a bench GX or EX. Single energy, your opponent can't play trainer cards next turn, but if it's got 5 more, you get a KO as well. You know, people tried playing it, but it wasn't one of the big ones, so to speak. Slowpoke and Psyduck? Again, we're not talking about some kind of Uber card here, although again, this was a fun one because it was 2 energy, 40 damage for each supporter card you discarded from your hand. You could discard as many as you like. So that was fun. And then there was 2 energy. Flip a coin. If heads, it does 100 more. But if it had at least 6 extra water energy, you flipped 10 coins and did 100 more for each heads. Yes, people tried using it. No, it didn't always go great. That's not the point. In the past year, this has gone from about a $15 card up to a $65 card. These are cards which, for a long time, they were cool little cards. They were fun ones to pop in your binder, but if you want to be collecting the tag team era, the latter end of Sun and Moon, it's just gotten significantly harder because the price of these are going dumb. Now, it is worth noting, you know, we're still in Unified Minds here. It is worth noting not all of these are getting ridiculous. Now, again, I'm not saying ridiculously cheap or any of that, but I'm saying they're not all getting ridiculous. Right now, the cheapest one in Unified Minds, Rowlet and Alolan Executor, what a pairing, $15 card right now. It's not a particularly expensive card. And the fun thing is, there's so many, like, full arts and gold cards, which are now so much cheaper. Like, regular Tag Team GXs are now like the hits in a lot of these, whereas, you know, in the past you'd be going, oh, I got a regular tag team, but it would have been nice to get something like a gold card. No. It is the regular tag teams that are becoming the hits. Although obviously, like I've told you, the fancy versions of the tag teams are more again. And look, this might be a $15 card right now, but a year ago it was $4. This was a $4 card a year ago. So even the ones like this, which you look at them and you go, oh, well, that's actually pretty reasonably priced. That's not terribly expensive. It's not. But, yeah. Still quadrupled in price, which I think is pretty telling. Hang on a second, Wassy. You're only showing us Unified Minds. Are you just a big lying liar? Don't know why you'd say that. That's a little bit rude. How about we have a look at Unbroken Bonds, a set which is a bit less ridiculous, I grant you. But now there's still plenty in here. Gardevoir and Sylveon. Very cool card. Everybody likes Gardevoir and Sylveon. In the past year, this has gone from $20 to $50. Point I'm making here is, yes, some sets have gone dumber than others. Unified Minds, I started with that one. That one does actually jump out as a particularly jumpy kind of set. But let's not pretend that even in Unbroken Bonds, things are, you know, nice and easy here, because they're not. We're still talking trebling in price. Well, 2.5 times in the past year for a regular tag team. Reshiram and Charizard, notable because this was a promo in decks and stuff, so it was, in theory, easier to get hold of. It's gone from 15 to 42, nearly trebled in price again in that same time period of a year. And there was a deck you could buy that had multiple of this in, which you're not going to be able to buy anymore. Let's be perfectly clear. It's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone. I'm glad I picked that deck up. I'd feel silly if I hadn't. But yeah, there was a League Battle deck that had 2 copies of it in. bet you wish you'd pick that up now. At the time, in my defense, I was telling you that you should pick that up. I always tell you about the League Battle decks and how good they are. So I'm just saying, I did give you fair warning on this one at the time. So there's a couple in Unbroken Bonds, which are going a bit silly. And look, there's still some out there which are just not that expensive. Pheromosa and Buzzwole, for instance, which was actually a very playable card at the time. Cheapest one from Unbroken Bonds right now, sitting there as a $10 card. Very reasonable. But, you know, as recently as November, it was a $3 card. So you need to bear in mind, even the ones that are looking kind of cheap nowadays, they are massively spiking. And I cannot tell you that the regular ones of this are going to keep going. The reality is, I don't know. All I can do now is tell you what the trend is and how it's going. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, things are getting, frankly, silly. And maybe we should finish having a look at Cosmic Eclipse, because we all know Cosmic Eclipse as a set has gotten, well, a little bit silly, I think might be a nice way to put it. And yes, some of the regular tag teams in this set are getting a bit silly. Biggest one right now is actually Blastoise and Piplup, sitting there as a $55 card, which it was not the most playable card around initially, which I do find very interesting, but the regular one of that is above a whole bunch of alternate arts. In the past year, we've seen a jump from $15 up to $55, so we're close to quadrupling in price here. And this is the most shocking thing to me, right? It's not just that some of these are like $60 to $80 cards. It's the fact that in the space of a year, they have gone 4 times the price they were before. That is incredibly relevant. You know, ADP, Arceus, Naga, and Palkia, that was a big card in the set, certainly playability-wise. But that was an $8 card back in November. It's now a $26 card. It's more than trebled in price in the past year. This one, it kind of makes me happy that this one isn't jumping up so much, because I played the whole time this was out, and I didn't like playing against this. This was a card that made me very, very sad. The message here is really simple. Regular tag teams, not your alternate arts or any of that. Your regular ones from sets have pretty much quadrupled in price in the past year. They are jumping up, and this is something you need to be aware of. If you've got them already, good news. If you don't have them already, we are already getting to the stage where they are going to be prohibitively expensive, and I do think that's something people need to bear in mind. I am not saying they will never get cheaper. I am saying, however, that this is something whereby if I was looking to pick some of these up, I would be thinking about this sooner rather than later. Not investment advice, not telling you what's going to happen in the future, telling you what's happening here and letting you do what you will with it. For now, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know how many of these ones you've got lying around, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Pyravamel, who's been a supporter of us for a little while now and seems to be a rather lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.